I always feel like there should be a song to start this program with every song. So I just go with the one in my head. And I think our guest today probably has one in her head as well. At least I hope so. I hope you have a song in your. So welcome to the Day in by Local community channel. We are back at it with another live conversation. One thing to remind you is please subscribe to the Day in by Local community channel. I always forget that part, so we got to get that out of the way. Subscribe, like, comment, share the videos. We are here to support our local businesses and members, and we're supporting today, of course, our community in many ways. And we've been doing that throughout. We're trying to get resources out there for our community, for all the people out there who are struggling, because we know a lot of them are. And now we're going through more change because now we're back at it and trying to figure this whole thing out. It's been really weird. But one other thing before I step too far is that I have to say that those would be the opinions of myself or our guest itself. So now we are completely covered, so I can introduce and bring in Mary Jane Connor. Mary Jane, thanks for taking time to talk with us today.
Thanks for having
Very strange for so many of us. How are you doing? How are things going in your life?
I personally can't, so I'm very fortunate. But that, and then in the last week. So yeah, I'm good. Things are a little unclear. Typically I like ready or try, and this is really hard to piece out how we're supposed to be acting in these times and what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's interesting. You mentioned that's kind of one of the things. It's one of your brand slogans is be seen clearly, right? With your business, and it is really murky right now. It's difficult. There's so many things going. There's so many differing opinions, so much division. There's a lot of things that we're all trying to work through together. And we'll talk about how important marketing and messaging can be at this time for leaders in our community and other people to help bring people together. But before we get into that, we had this health crisis that started out. It's still been going on, and people still need to be careful. But I know you have a personal experience with COVID-19. Can you tell us, share a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So I think that my husband and I were probably one of the first few people in Dane County to be tested positive for COVID. We were on vacation in New Orleans, kind of right when everything started blowing up in New Orleans. New Orleans was sort of seen as that hot spot, one of the hot spots because of Mardi Gras and so many people there. And so the news cycle was quickly turning to 24-hour coverage of the pandemic and it coming to the US. And, we were washing our hands more conscientiously than probably prior to the pandemic. We are, obviously we're aware of it, but really while we were there is when it really started to amp up. And when we were driving home, we started feeling a little sick, but nothing bad. And plus we had just been in New Orleans for like 5 days. So I mean, like, I don't know, like I just partied for 5 days. This could just be hangover. But we, my husband was pretty convinced that he had something and he got tested on Sunday, and it came back positive a couple days later. And so, we had quarantined, we didn't go anywhere besides him going to the doctor. Just, that was sort of the protocol if you feel sick to quarantine. And so we had already been doing that. And then a week later, got tested. We didn't want to take our son to the doctor to get tested at the time that my husband went, and I didn't want to go. Let me start over. We didn't all three want to go to the doctor if we didn't have to. And so we thought, let's just have somebody get tested. And then if it comes back positive, we'll assume that we all have it. But then for some reason, they let me get tested a week later too. So, I mean, that was just good to know, particularly with all of the uncertainty around the tests. I really wanted to make sure that we did have it, I guess, for which I thought was going to be more clear about the antibodies and having antibodies. But now that is unclear too. So lots of unclarity.
Right. And it's a very confusing situation, but I know that you guys people have had so many different experiences with the virus and with the disease caused by the virus, and yours wasn't as severe as others. But everyone's experience has been different. And so I think that's important to note. However, I know you were actively kind of putting some things out, messaging, sharing that experience. You guys were in an article as well. And then you've been, trying to be helpful by getting tested with antibodies, seeing if that can help other people. So, I appreciate all those things you guys have been doing since understanding that you had the virus, had the disease, and are trying to help. So,
Well,
just
thank you.
wanted to, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I mean, again, because it's different. We've heard we heard a lot of the really extreme stories. We haven't heard maybe the more mild stories. Yours wasn't as severe, but either way, it's something that everyone needs to take seriously, in my opinion. My opinion. There it is. Boom. Okay. So,
Agreed.
Mary Jane, you have your own business. Please tell us a little bit about your marketing business.
Yeah, my marketing business is called MJC Marketing, or MJC MKTG, and I focus on working with small businesses. My mission is to make small brands clear. Very simple. My vision is to redefine branding in the small business space. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but that's okay. It's the vision, and I'll get there. And yeah, that's what I do. I love working with small businesses because it allows me to move quickly and create fast. Um, but I, will also work with larger organizations that take a little bit more time and a more involvement with like different people. So it's like I'll work with solopreneurs, and then I'll work with organizations with a whole C-suite. So yeah, and I started it it's been just over a year. It was I want to say May 5th, but that's Cinco de Mayo, and I don't think my birthday's on Cinco de Mayo. So I think that it was right around there, though. And I'm trying to I'm recalling my Instagram feed, and I was like, was my picture before my nachos and tequila? Anyway, so
Mary Jane also likes to have a good time, if you couldn't
yeah.
tell yet by some
Well,
of the.
so my mantra is relax, have fun, do good work. So yeah, that's how I like to work. I don't want to be stressed out in life. I don't want to be stressed out at work. I love to work. I love it, but only if it's fun. So, yeah.
So what was
What
it
else?
about? What was it about the marketing business, or what about marketing made you want to get into that and start your own company for that?
Okay, let's see. Well, I think part of the allure of working with multiple different projects at one time was kind of what drew me into starting my own business, because I have an art degree, so I'm am used to working on a project, finishing it, moving to another one, and then all just totally new ideas every time. I've never been one I don't have an artistic body of work. It's all over the place, right? I mean, I had a series that I worked on for a while, but not even long, like a year, maybe a semester, I don't know. And then I just jump around to all different things. Then my art took on the form of almost curation in creating these weird art show concepts. So what I'm saying is I like to do a lot of different things. I'm going to boil it down there. I'm going to be clear. I like doing a lot of different things. I don't want to get stuck in a job doing the same thing over and over.
Fair enough. And so this obviously allows you to be creative. What are the services? So it's marketing based, but I mean, do you include design? What's the breadth of your
Yeah.
business?
So I do everything from brand strategy up to talking about who your target audience is, or helping you figure out who it is, where you should be marketing because of who that target audience is. So a brand strategy all the way down to copywriting, short form. I'll do website copy. And if we were working specifically on SEO, I'd go to someone else because I'm not that familiar with SEO. But getting that brand voice, and then I do graphic design, and I can set up websites through Wix, which I think is an awesome platform for small businesses because it's literally drag and drop. It's like working with the easiest. I mean, it's easier than working with Word, trying to put pictures in a Word document. Easy, much easier. It's like what was that thing called? Was it PageMaker? No. Am I dating myself? How old is PageMaker? That's a thing from way past.
I don't think I was alive then. I'm sorry.
You were too. you
I'm just playing. No,
you're
I wasn't up on all that stuff. I was probably still either, I don't know, on the news beat, or I may have been working for a different nonprofit or a different role. Or maybe I was crawling around in attics at that point in my early years at Project Home. Who knows?
hmm.
So I don't
Well,
know.
what I'm
PageMaker, sorry.
trying to think of is the Microsoft version of a layout program, which I can't remember the name of anymore.
But it's
Anyway,
easy. It's easy, right? That's what you're getting to.
easy. It's drag and drop. You upload pictures.
Nice.
It's so anyway, I use it because it's great for small businesses to be able to take and then do modifications themselves. So they're not like always relying on somebody, or if they want to make quick changes, things like that.
Yeah, as a web manager for the organization I work for myself, I found that really helpful. You know, if it's user friendly and you can do that in house, make those changes as you need to, but don't have to do the whole big initial work for the design. But the maintenance is manageable and you can update. That's great to be able to do that yourself, and it doesn't take too long if it's pretty simple and straightforward. And that sounds like what you like to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool, cool. So I also wanted to ask you a little bit more about this thing with small businesses, and also, kind of your connection with Dane by Local. Did you find that Dane by Local as being a really important early group to get involved with to help get your business started, or were you already kind of going with clients, or how did that work out?
I joined Dane by Local pretty much immediately when I decided to start a business. I had been involved with Dane by Local as I think through when I was the marketing manager at Essen House years ago, possibly also through Isthmus when I worked for Isthmus years ago. And I just really like the organization. And I think that obviously I love all the unique businesses that we have in the community. I think business makes our community what it is. And so I had just gotten started, emailed or whatever. I just joined online, I guess. And then I got a nice email from you. And I think then I ended up getting an email from Colin, and he was like, "Do you want to join any committees?" And I said, "Sure." And then I ended up on the marketing committee, and then I ended up chairing the marketing committee. So it's really helped me not only like make connections, but feel valued in the community, which I think is really important to me as a person, to feel like I'm contributing in some way to the bigger picture.
Yeah, I think you fit right in because a lot of the people that are in the organization are very active members of the organization. So whether they, it's not just about a membership or being a member and showing up to something once in a while. A lot of the members of DBL realize the benefits in participation and getting active. So the fact that you jumped on committees and started doing that stuff right away, not only is that a great way for you to get more known with other like-minded people that are connected to other people and all of that, but it's also just like you said, it gives you a little bit more in terms of what you're doing in the community, which then can boost you. I mean, it boosted me. I felt a lot more valued. I felt really valued being involved in the organization, and that did a lot for me in a number of ways too, in my role and my position at Project Home. So um yeah, I get it, and I'm down with it, and we're glad to have you, Mary
Thank
Jane.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
And I will
So
say my best, I'm just so excited about this project I was working on that just wrapped up called Market Ready. It was the city of Madison was getting businesses ready for the new public market. And I met Dan at the Dane by Local meeting, which then sent me into this business role as a business coach for the program. And it has been just amazing. Like the best thing I've pretty much ever been. I mean, I'm not trying to sound cool, but I mean, I've done some pretty cool things in my life, and this is at the top.
well, like you said before, if you can have fun while doing work, I mean, that's the best of both worlds right there. So, and helping other people out at the same time. I mean, those are some great things. So tell me a little bit more about your some of the other projects or clients you've assisted so far in your business, just a little over a year old.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I like want to open up my website or something, but so okay, I'm gonna start with Market Ready because we just talked about it, and it's fresh in my mind. Uh, So I'm really excited about the new website that was just launched for Little Tibet, which is the restaurant over on Johnson. I point like there's the east side over there. And that was so much fun to work on. Then I'm working with Perfect Imperfections, which is a local body care company. Jasmine Banks owns it. And she is just like amping up during this crazy time. We created all new labels for our products. We're doing a big announcement coming up in this summer, so that's exciting. And what else have we been doing? Who else was I working? I went through this Market Ready program and just created these beautiful brand identities through like their awesome vision of like what they want to be as an organization. And I get so pumped about it. Like when you get that strong mission and vision, like, and then your values, everything just falls into place, right? Like all of a sudden, you know, like what you want to sound like and what you want to look like and who you're talking to and how you're talking to them and or talking with them, I guess. And it was so fun. So there's another woman, her company's called QB's Magnetic Creations, and she like has this idea of making, it's like not jewelry, but it's like accessories that are magnetic. So it's like pins and stuff like that that don't damage your clothes, and then badge holders. So like if you work at the state, you have to like badge through. Like if you don't want a boring badge holder, she has an answer for that. And what else have I been doing? I'm working with a pet care company on some labels. Oh my gosh, what? I can't believe I forgot this. All right. Caracas empanadas. They are like, have you had Caracas empanadas?
I have not. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh. Okay. So you can get them through Christine's Kitchen right now. Have you heard about this thing that's going on through Christine's Kitchen?
Educate me. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So Christine's Kitchen is, from what I understand, like a place where people can go and cook food. It's kind of like the feed kitchens on the north side, I think. Like it's like a commercial kitchen where you can go and then you can take your food out to your food carts or to catering and things like that. And Melly Mel's. Okay. But Caracas empanadas. So awesome empanadas. Luis is from Venezuela. He came to the United States. We started talking about Venezuela being his food home, and now he wants to share that with the world and with Madison's, you know. And so we redid their logo. We put up a website that's not standing yet, I don't think, but that's so you can order frozen empanadas online from all over the country. And then I'm so excited about this, made a new label for their wasakaka sauce. Can you say wasakaka?
Wasakaka.
Oh, did you know of it before?
No.
Okay.
I'm just really good at saying words sometimes.
Yeah, that's good. It took me a long time to like remember that word. Can you say it now?
Wasakaka.
You're so good. Good as my 2-year-old son.
It's one gift. This is the one gift I've been given.
Yeah. Well, that is a good gift because I looked like a dum-dum, like
saying words.
I'm
sure. Come on now. I'm sure not. It's fine.
I was like, wasa. Anyway, now I know how to say it, and it's amazing. Have you had it? You didn't know it, so you probably haven't. It's cilantro sauce. And I don't know. I love cilantro. I got a bottle. I literally ate it with 3 meals a day. Like, so anyway, I made a new label for that. I'm so excited for that to like be released. And then Melly Mel's soul food. So good. So I don't know if you remember, but Melly Mel's had a restaurant over off of Badger Road a number of years ago, and that closed. And then she's been doing catering, and she's part of the Market Ready program. And so we did a logo and launched a new website for her. I launched a website for her. She didn't have one yet. So now like people can, go see what she has easily and call her up and get all of her delicious food. Best mac and cheese, best collard greens, better than Memphis by far. Better than any collard greens I had in Memphis on my recent trip.
So what does that feel like, knowing you can work with customers, especially in this time where an online presence is as important as it's ever been, that you can help get them to that point where they didn't even have that before?
It feels really good. It feels really, really good being able to help. And I just get as you can tell, I get a little excited about it.
That's good. We like excited. It's good. People should be passionate. It's a good
Yeah,
thing.
it's exciting and I feel good that I can help. Yeah, exciting and good.
That's very cool. Now I have a more difficult question for you.
Eh,
So knowing all those wonderful, amazing things, what kind of challenges and what kind of things have you experienced during, especially with customers and other people during this time with COVID-19 and then other things happening where businesses, a lot of them were really struggling?
Yeah,
You come across any tough stories there, or things that, situations that maybe weren't as joyful or easy to handle, but you help people push through them?
luckily, um, I mean, not luckily. I mean, I guess I haven't run into anything with gosh, if I forget something, I'm gonna feel like a real
All right,
jerk.
I'll retract my question. Bad question. You can always know when you ask a bad question because then there's not a immediate answer to it. But no, here's probably a better way to look at it. Um, During these times, what do you think marketing's role, messaging, importance? What's the importance of all that stuff, especially right now?
Yeah, well, I think so I think that particularly small businesses, like small business owners are really the leaders of the community, right? Like businesses where people go and congregate and exist, or at least, did before. Um, I think they have a real opportunity to create the culture in which we all want to live. So there's a lot on the internet right now about messaging, particularly around the uh, incident, the I'm going to just say murder in Minneapolis. And I think, and there's a lot of brands commenting on it and a lot of people talking about the brands, big brands commenting on it. And I think something that small brands can take away, and like for me, as a small brand myself, I I am like in like a deer in headlights kind of. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to say. I mean, I know how I feel. I know I feel in every core of my being that racism is wrong. Like I've felt that my entire life and that this needs to stop. I don't have answers. I don't have solutions. I don't even have anything that I feel like I can say that would make any contribution to making anything better. But what I can say is that go back to our local businesses are our leaders. If we really want to see change and if we have things to say about the change we want to make, the most important thing is that we make the change. And that goes back to your mission, vision, and your values. And if you don't have values I think every business, and this is what I sort of like, this is my thing with my business, like you need a mission, vision, and values in order to create a strong identity, and it helps you make so much better like decisions in everything you do. So if you want to change and help end racism, put that in your values and start doing real things to make that change. Make a goal to hire more people of color. Make a goal to work with more business that are owned by people of color. Do attainable things that can like start making these changes in our community locally. And then I don't know, I'm like, I presented this idea to you about talking about messaging during this time. And actually it was before all of this recent the recent
Before the racial issues were resurfaced again to the
yeah,
extent they were.
exactly.
Yeah,
I
we
want to
were
say
talking.
I'm not going to say before it happened because it's been happening
No,
forever.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it just got a lot more complicated, like
Mhm.
much more complicated than just COVID. So, so I thought long and hard about this, and I think it just goes back to your values and taking action. And who cares what we say on social media, because that's not, I don't know how much that's going to change, like what happens in reality. Um, I think what's really important is making real changes in our business practices every day and taking on that identity.
Agreed. I mean, I think overall, what we say and what we do matters. It just
Mhm,
does. Even if you think you're, one person, you might be a business owner, you might not. But regardless, if it's on an individual level with your business, with your company, um, or you're a person of, extreme stature or whatever in the world, and have this big platform, regardless of it, what you say and what you do matters.
mhm, and
And
I would
now's the
say
time. And you said you don't know what you could do, or you felt like you didn't know how to help. You just did help. You just said racism is wrong. I mean, that's
mhm,
something right
mhm,
there. So give you a little
and I
cred there.
yeah, well, and I think, I'm really excited about coming to the conclusion after, like, I was doing a bunch of research online and looking at all of these articles on people commenting about what brands are doing. I'm looking into what brands are doing, like big brands, because I kind of like to, I mean, I look a lot at big brands for inspiration, right? Like creative inspiration or marketing inspiration, and then like figure out how small brands can utilize some of those ideas. And I was, I was pretty excited about my thesis that I came to about the values and making a change and being that business that you want to be and being a part of the culture that you want to be, and not just put it on social media today because that's what everybody's talking about, but let's really make a difference. Make it a long-term goal to make some serious change within your business organization. No matter how small you are. I mean, I think we can, safely say, and we know from statistics that Madison is still pretty segregated and we need to make a change.
Agreed. I,
Um,
th- I think it's
but
good advice.
yeah, also on a little lighter note, take, everybody, it's not much later, but uh, we know that everybody is stressed out. Everybody is confused because of this pandemic that was happening, right? Everybody's uncertain about the future. And that creates a lot of volatile emotions, right? A lot of just like angst. And so, social media particularly is a platform that or all social media, it's like you have obviously we know we have a megaphone to 3.8 billion people potentially if we say the right or wrong thing. And my advice is to like just sit back, listen, reflect, then take action, and really think back to who you are as a business and how you can craft your messaging to support either where you're going to go, and make sure that you have to be authentic and you have to really do what you say you're going to do to make this change. I think that there's a lot of big brands out there uh, that people are, calling out for saying something now that didn't correspond with what they did in the past. Um, and I think that as small businesses, we probably, people aren't going to like track that for us and call us on it. But I think as small business owners and people that care about the community, we need, like, again, it's like checking yourself, thinking about how you do your, practice your business, and really, we have a lot of hard work to do in this country. A lot.
Mhm.
It'd be a lot of work if we really want things to change. Tons.
Yeah, agreed. And that was exactly one thing I was gonna go into, which was talking about how, um, especially with things on social media and things you're putting out on the web, how important it is for you as a business to be authentic, or an organization to be authentic, and how do you do that, to make sure you're doing that and not just getting kind of wrapped into what everybody's saying, or jumping on that bandwagon or whatever. Like, take your stand, be authentic about it, and you know, basically that's, I think, the best approach for people. Is that some of your advice? I mean, it goes back to your values and your mission and all that, right? And that's what you're saying, and I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's great.
I, yeah, I think it all has to go back to your values, mission, vision, values, and then your intention for the future.
Mhm.
Because it is easy to get wrapped up in all of the energy. You know, and I don't know. I mean, I think it's great. Like I thought, I think social media can be very, very powerful. Um, I think that though it's kind of like what happened with the Blackout Tuesday, like the best intentions for everything. And then like the hashtag kind of was like confusing, right? And so it's like social media can be so powerful, but it's very complicated. And so are all of these issues. So man, like I was just reading an article about how like in years past, brands just stood away from issues altogether because they didn't want to like alienate anybody. And now brands, I don't know where it started exactly, but consumers, obviously we know like millennials want brands to be better. So that's awesome. There's always confusion though if brands are actually being better or just doing it because that's what the customers want, right? It's like sort of this weird chicken or egg thing. I think with local business, um, again, it doesn't have like the same amount of like scrutiny as big brands, but I still think that like just saying that like you are against racism isn't enough, I guess, in my opinion. So that's all I'm trying to say. It's like,
That's fair. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I get it. It's about action too, and you get it.
Yeah.
Okay, that is obviously a huge issue, and we could talk about that forever, and we need to keep talking about it. And that's again my opinion again, but that's what I'll say. Um, but in the context of this, people getting back into business, businesses opening again. You know, I know there were some businesses that were very active during the safer at home orders and things like that. A lot of businesses being shut down in their marketing. There's some that weren't at all, right? So how do those businesses that weren't really try to pick this up again? What should they be doing?
They should. I mean,
They should contact you. Is that
that's
the answer?
exactly what they should do. Contact me. I have all the answers, as you can tell. So I think, you know, so taking again, I mean, I think people have, so as businesses reopen, obviously staying in communication, which everybody has been doing, like from what I've seen locally, an awesome job, keeping their fans and their customers informed about what they're doing to keep, you know, how they can continue to engage with them. I think, you know, we're not going to be going back to normal for a while, so continuously innovating and then I mean, this is like my this is terrible. This is not going to sound right, but like this sort of constant change is kind of like my utopia for a while because it inspires creativity, right? You're constantly innovating and then you constantly have something to tell your customers that's new and exciting. So I have just been like super impressed with how well the small businesses have pivoted and so quickly and effectively. It's been really inspiring. And in fact, I'm working on a project with a videographer and we're interviewing small business owners talking about their whole experience with the COVID and shutting down and how they're reopening and everything. And it's just, I mean, to like, first of all, have to, you know, let go of staff, significant amount of staff, because obviously I can't all be in the same place, and then take these businesses and essentially like flip them into something sometimes new. It has been awesome. So I say continue innovating. We're not through this yet. And if you have money and you can advertise, keep top of mind as much as you can.
Yeah, I think that's interesting with so many businesses too. About like you said, I mean, some of these businesses, the way they're currently operating, the way they've been forced to shift and flip, was nothing like they were ever in thought of before. I mean, these are a lot of these business owners probably never thought of having some of these things available, like even delivery and other things that so many businesses started offering during the time, and now people are kind of expecting that. Or so customers have gotten used to it. So now do you keep all those things going that you were doing even though you're open? You probably have to, right? I mean, I think that makes sense.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day too. And I was like, yeah, how do you like then pivot backwards?
Right.
Like, do you just keep going in the circle until you come? And like, so I don't know because that, I guess it depends. You just have to, what did I just read the other day? You have to like see. I mean, I guess, as things continue to change, you just have to see what's working and not working, and you're not going to be able to sustain everything probably as a small business. So just look at like what is working for you, where you're getting the most return, and keep evolving. I think it's, so much we've learned. Can you imagine, like, people have said this and it's true, like how much we've learned in the last 2 months. It's remarkable. And how much we could do. How much, like, people have said this numerous times. Things that would have usually taken me a year took me 2 weeks. Which in some ways I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. In other ways I'm like, wait, what about my relaxed time of life? Like, that just sounds like, I just hope at the end of this, that we're not required to like businesses don't think that we need to think like this all the time, because it's burnout. Like, we will burn out. So, you can't just constantly innovate and change, like, not like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've been impressed too with how the job a lot of organizations have done during this time to kind of still serve their mission, serve the customers, and try to continue keeping their businesses and organizations relevant. I think that's awesome. Now, clearly, one of the most important things, and so if you're gonna, so I'm a business owner and I want to hire a marketing person or a brand person to help me with those things. One of the most important things is the relationship
Mm-hmm.
with that person. And then also the fact that you could trust that person. Can I trust that person? Because I'm putting my business in their hands to present that to the public. Like, they're going to help me figure out the best way to do that. So I got to trust this person. They need to be authentic. They need to understand me. They need to be a good listener. Clearly, you were all those things. So I just want to give you some big credit on that. Clearly, from this video, you can see that Mary Jane is authentic. I mean, from
Sometimes
the,
too authentic.
yeah, perhaps, but hey, you know
You
what
get
you're
what you get.
getting.
That's
You
right.
know what you're getting, and she loves to be creative, and she's excited, and she's passionate. So, here's my personal thing again. But if you're looking for some services, she's definitely one to check out. So, Mary Jane, if people are interested in working with you, where can they find out more?
You can go to my website at beseenclearly.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under MJC, MKTG. MKTG is the abbreviation for marketing. So MJC, Mary Jane Connor, marketing, MKTG.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you took time to chat with me today about all this stuff. I didn't know we were going to get into all that, but I think it's great that we did. Important things going on in the world. Everybody
Can't not
needs
talk about them.
right? Exactly. And I hope people got to see a little more about you too as we share this video and get it out there to more and more folks. Because, like I said, if you're looking for a straight shooter, somebody that's energetic and fun and wants to work with you to get the best result, I think Mary Jane's a great person for that. So,
Thanks. And thanks for having me. It was
yeah,
a lot of fun.
of course, of course.
Even in
Well,
the midst of like this craziness. I
I know.
shouldn't say
Well,
things. I don't even feel like I should say things are fun right now.
you know what though? We have to find this balance. We have to find, because I think it was I think it was over the weekend. So I've been all stressed out about all these things that had been happening. I was talking to some friends that live in Minneapolis, and some others, and then I did the worst thing possible. I started my own carpentry project, which is very stressful for me because I'm not great at math, and I also have like a difficulty spatially visualizing things. But I can do these things. I've learned, somewhat how to do them. I basically asked my wife to draw a picture, and then I tried to make what the picture looks like out of wood or something or whatever. And at one point, I miscalculated something and miscut something and whatever. And then I was looking at this whole thing and I had it mostly put together and I was going to have to redo some things. And I just got so overwhelmed by that. But I realized it wasn't necessarily that. It was all of these things bottled up in it. And then that was just kind of the tip of the iceberg for me. And I almost, I was having almost a panic attack at that point. And I'm like, okay, we need some breaks. We need to talk about fun and we need to have a little fun sometimes. And so yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We don't have to feel bad to take a break from some of the serious stuff. We'll get back at it. We'll get back at the good fight, Mary Jane. I know you will, and I will too. So
Well, thanks, Jason. That
yeah.
helps.
Hey, take care of yourself. Be safe. And I hope to see you some point down the road in person. But until then, maybe we'll catch you on like a day by local meeting, something like that.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Take care. Be safe, everybody. Stay well.